Prepare to be inspired by my guest today, Lindsay Jepperson's extraordinary life story. From a high school dropout to a master's degree holder, her transformative journey is a testament to recovery, courage, self-love, and finding hope by asking for help to take the next step. Listen today and be inspired. Hi, Lindsay. Thank you for being my guest on the Choose Courage podcast today.
Thank you. I'm super excited.
Me too. You and I have had a few interviews together from the past, and your story has touched my heart so deeply that I want to share it with everyone. I've told you that for a long time, and here you are on my podcast, and we are going to tell people your amazing story of resilience and persistence, and that no matter what happens in the past, it doesn't have to define you. And you have fought hard to live the life that you knew you could inside. So tell people a little bit about your amazing story.
Well, to kind of get started, I'm a high school dropout with a master's degree. That's kind of a little bit of my story. Another big key piece of my story is I'm 20 years clean from heroin. So it's just been a huge blessing and all the things that God's provided along the way. I'm a current educator. I've been a teacher for 18 years, mom of three, wife to just an amazing support network person. And yeah, I just always every day I just am so blessed to live the life that I live.
Lindsay, that's incredible, really amazing story. And I know people listening right now might be asking themselves that how on earth was she able to overcome all of this? Is there anything that you can contribute this to within yourself, or was it people outside of yourself? And for you to believe in that you could have a different life.
I think just that little girl inside of me, I think I've always just fought for her and what she needed and things like that. But I think there is a resilience and courage that I have that not even like grit, but just like that I deserved better, that I deserve to have this life and that I'm going to continue to pursue the life that I want and change my perspective and like my direction from everything that I endured, that I'm going to change the trajectory of my life.
That takes incredible strength and courage. And that's what we talk about. I mean, if I were to give a definition of courage, it would be not giving up under the most difficult of circumstances. And addiction is the hardest thing to beat, not just physically, but psychologically, right? And
Yeah.
emotionally, and the stigma and all of that. And tell me, is there some things like characteristics, or I can't even imagine, I can't imagine the pain, the struggle, the heartache of what you went through. And how did you have enough self-love, self-determination inside? How did you find it?
I think there was a lot of people along the way that one of the things that I try to tell people is some people filled my cup when I wasn't able to fill my own cup. I think there's been a lot of people in my life that have just been there right at the right time and right at the right moment to give me that little bit of courage that I needed to do the next thing. And I think that's what we are here to do, is to help other people along their way and just share that hope that even though it might be a really crappy day or really crappy circumstance or things like that, that you have the power within you to change things, and there's somebody there to help you along the way, hopefully.
I love that. I do. I think a lot of people forget that there are people out there that can help you and hold you up when you can't hold yourself up, and that really people do want to help. And when you're in that situation, I'm sure it feels so lonely and scary, and you can't even see past the next moment of how can someone really want to help me, especially when you are, I've been through such similar problems or situations in my life where it's almost a self-esteem situation too, where you feel so bad about yourself being there that you can't imagine someone loving you enough to help you, which is so crazy, isn't it?
It is, and it's still something I struggle with till this day. I think it's something that I'll probably always struggle with, but I have a tattoo on my foot that says one day at a time, and I think that's what the key is to everything. Is not even just that one day at a time, is that one moment and that one choice. It was making that daily choice to not use every single day. It was that choice to plug back into education and to do better for myself than I everybody thought I would do. And I think that's kind of the key is just doing a little bit better every single day and doing something that moves your compass forward rather than backwards.
Yes. Oh, that's a great thing for people to hear right now, that you don't have to just have this one huge big accomplishment. Take it one little step, one moment at a time. Make that little incremental change in your day, even if it's in your right attitude and your thinking. But fight for that one little step every day, and you'll surprise yourself, is what I'm hearing from you.
Yes, yes, and I just think little things compound up. Those little daily habits really compound. One of the things in recovery that I learned was making your bed. I know it seems super silly and super whatever,
Mm.
but it was a win for the day. Every single day I felt like I accomplished something because I made my bed that day. And it's just those little tiny things that compound and make you a different person than everybody expects you to be.
It's incredible and beautiful, and that makes so much sense. And anyone listening right now, just know that there is hope, and that you can make a change, and just get up and do something good. Anything, make your bed, anything. Go outside, look at the flowers, look at the trees, look at nature, something. But know that if what Lindsay's story has told us today is that, if she can get through this and not only survive, but thrive. Lindsay is thriving, and that's amazing. And so just know that anything is really possible if you don't give up. Find the people in your life is what Lindsay is telling us. And Lindsay, what have you learned? How many years now has it been that you've been clean?
20 years, and it's still a daily choice. It's still something daily that I not necessarily struggle with like as I did in the beginning and things like that, but it's something that again, I have to change what I'm doing every day to not go back to that lifestyle and do all that. But also, like you said, in that self-love and self-respect, I had to lean into the help that was offered to me and really lean into, God and a higher power and somebody else carrying me through what was really, really, really hard. I just think there's so many resources out there. There's so many groups and organizations and things that are out there to help you with addiction and any type of recovery that you're going through. It's just taking that first step and asking for help, I think is the biggest thing. And just saying, hey, I have a problem. I really need help. And I've always just been super open and honest about my past and about all of that and what I've struggled with because I've always in my life, I've always met those people that are like me too. And by me sharing part of my story, it has helped that person take that next step and enter recovery or go to a meeting or do whatever that is. And I just think that it's okay. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to have things that we have a hard time with, but if we don't ask for help, I think in the end, you're just struggling alone in silence. And so I think that's another big lesson. And I still ask for help today. I still go to meetings every now and then. I still plug into journaling and being in my Bible and making my bed every day because it helps me to continue on this path of recovery and to stay clean.
It's beautiful. What You're such an inspiration, and your message is really inspiring to everyone that is out there, because we all struggle with things. I mean, the struggles are small, and some are big. They're all over the place. I mean, we can't be on this earth without some kind of challenge to overcome or to face, and some are bigger than others. But you're telling everyone right now is that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to be human, and that's what we're here for. And through our struggles, we learn a lot. And we learn who we are, and we learn how to ask and come together. Uh, and people do want to help us, and we can help other people. And when we isolate and think that that's not the case, it's much more challenging to get over things. And we're here to help each other. And you have shown everyone how to do that. So ask for help. There's a lot of organizations, a lot of things that you can do. And it's a daily practice and mindset is what I'm hearing as well. Don't ever give up. Just every day get up and have that mindset to make a little step in the right direction and believe in something bigger than yourself. And I know that you not only to have a master's degree, you're a beautiful, wonderful mother and wife, and you live an incredible life today. And now, of course, you are writing a book. So
Yep.
tell us about the book.
So my book is called Adjusting Your Cells, and it's about having those anchors of hope as things were dark and thing. I just want to share the light of my story and what I've gone through, and that no matter what you go through, there's hope. I want to wrap up my book and say that I have these amazing relationships with people that have hurt me, that I'm, perfect in all these ways, but that's not the truth. I want to share the light of that it is still a daily choice for me to stay clean. It's still something that I have to plug into help, and it's still something that I struggle with, but my book is just that little glimmer of hope that no matter what situation you're in, if it's Department of Child and Family Services is involved, you are a foster child, if you are a high school dropout, that there is hope, that you don't have to be that statistic. And that's one of the biggest things in my book at the beginning of my book is the statistics, is
Mm.
showing people that I'm not going to be a statistic. I'm not going to be that person that is going to be incarcerated, that is going to have drug use still a part of my life. That I made it a choice to change that, and that you can too. So I'm super excited. It'll be coming out this year. I'm still in the process of finishing editing and writing, but I'm super excited to share it with the world. And my biggest hope is just to, again, give that hope to one person that if they are struggling with something similar, something different, that they can know that there is hope out there.
I mean, incredible. I can't wait to read your book, and I know your book will change lives. Not just one, I think it's going to be changing a lot of lives. And I love how you're giving back from what you've learned from your own life experience. And again, the book, you're not sure what the title is, but we can make sure that people can follow you and they can stay tuned for when this book comes out. And also reach out to you for any advice, right? Or direction, anything like that. So also, I want to ask you one more question.
Yeah.
What are you most proud of in your life
Ooh.
about you, what you've been able to do?
I think if I had to answer that question right now, it would be being a mother. I just think I am so blessed to have three healthy children. I'm a special ed teacher by day, and I watch parents that struggle with typical kids and things like that. And I just am so blessed to be called mom. I think it's the hardest job I'll ever do in my lifetime. But I'm so proud to be able to carry that role and to be that person. So for sure, being a mom is probably the thing I'm most proud of right now in my life.
It is an amazing job, isn't it? It's something you can't really explain, and you're an amazing mother. I've watched you and how you really pay attention. You're mindful about being a really good mother. And I that kind of brings me to another question about, do they know your story, or when will you tell them your story?
Yeah, I'm actually super honest with my kids about my story and all of that, and I'm gonna be super vulnerable for a minute. It's been really hard this year. My daughter's 8 years old, and that's when my story kind of began and my trauma began and a lot
Wow.
of that. And then my son is 14, and I was emancipated when I was 14 years old. So it's been pretty heart-wrenching just to think of my children at my age and that. So I still continue to do work. I still go to therapy. I still work through this stuff because there's still a lot of heavy things there.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, it's just definitely a journey. But my kids know most of my story. They don't know all the details,
Yeah.
obviously, and things like that. But my daughter is so excited to read my book. She's read a couple parts of it and things like that. And they have lots of questions that I'm pretty open about. But yeah, I want my kids to know my story. I want my kids to know that their mom's a fighter and that they can go through hard things too, and that I'll be right there to help them through it.
I mean, what a gift, Lindsay, what a gift that you're being honest and open with your children about this, because you're giving them something that a lot of children don't receive. They think their parents are perfect, they don't make mistakes, and they don't understand how to deal with life adversities. And you're showing them that life does throw things at you. And it's a very difficult thing as a parent to know that life is going to rough you, rough them up. It is just what it is. But you can make it less difficult on yourself, as you teach your children. Or if things happen out of your control, you're stronger than you think you are. And look at how strong I've been. I mean, what a legacy that you're leaving for them, and that they are going to pass it on to other people. It's really a gift. And I really admire you. And I really want to congratulate you for being so honest with yourself in life and with us. And that you being vulnerable enough to tell your story is going to change all of us. And this is an incredible story of resilience and strength and persistence and perseverance. And your life is just amazing to me, and you are amazing. So what do you want? What's one last thing that you would like to share with our audience?
I think if you're listening to this, you're obviously looking to grow and to be a better person, and you want the courage to do something. And so I guess my final message for anybody out there, if you want to do something, then do it. If it's running a race, if it's writing a book, if it's telling your story in your own capacity and things like that, I guess I just encourage you to do it, because there's no, I don't know, the quote I always go back to is, a ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what it's intended for. We're not intended to stay in the port and stay there. We're intended to go out and sail our ships and do what, God has intended for us to do, and to be there for other people. So that's just my message. I would just encourage you. And Terry, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to share my story and to be on your podcast. It's just been amazing. It's just been so life-giving, but also so healing for me to share parts of my story today.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. It's really been an honor from my heart to interview you and to share your story, because it's touched me deeply, and it gives me strength to know that I can overcome anything, and that people listening to you, you're going to change lives just by that little spark of hope. And I love what you just said about the boat and the sailing, and it's not supposed to be in the harbor. It's meant to sail. And you're not only giving people hope to recover from difficulties, but to thrive and really live the life that they're meant to live. And it doesn't matter what's happened. You still have the ability of a long life left. Get up, start over, one day at a time. And thank you. Thank you so much for your message today. And how can people get a hold of you, Lindsay? What would be the best way?
Facebook or Instagram, it's just Lindsay Jepperson on both of those, or my email is runyoursuccess, all just one word, at yahoo.com. And I'd love to be there to hear just what you took from this, or how I could help you, or if you're looking for a resource, how we can support you.
Perfect. We'll make sure that everyone has that when we're posting, when they're listening today. We'll make sure that they have all your information. Please reach out to Lindsay if you're struggling, or even if you just want to have a better life. I mean, she's walked her talk, and there's nothing more powerful than that. So go out there, be courageous, and have a wonderful day.